We're going to be doing our technique today. I hope you guys like it. It's kind of messy, but I tell you what, if you do a whole bunch of them at one time, you will love it. Good morning, Mary. Hi, Susie. It's so glad to see some of you guys on with me today. I do have to say I've really enjoyed doing my Facebook Lives. Thank you, Mary, for making me jump out of that box and get my self in gear. It's been pretty much fun. I'm going to wait just a little bit just to see if we get another couple people on, and then I'll go ahead and start. You're not going to see my face today. I am dressed, took my shower, did my hair, even put on my makeup like I always do every single day because it makes me feel better. And so I'm ready, but I just find it easier to face my camera down and be ready and not be all worried about if I'm going to get it right or if I'm not and stuff like that. It's just a lot of worry to me. I like teaching, so I like to be down. Mary, I do, hi Sharon. I do hope to do more Facebook Lives. In fact, I'm going to do one maybe this afternoon to show you why I haven't been on here doing Facebook Lives. I've been rearranging my classroom a little bit, and I didn't take a before picture of it. It was a disaster. Just throwing things around because we've been cleaning in the house and stuff. So anyway, I might do a little one and show you what I've been doing and why I haven't been on trying to do any Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So might just do that. Hi Lisa. Are you up having your coffee? I'm sure. Okay, ladies, I think I'm going to go ahead and start. Of course, this morning I'm going to do my Technique Tuesday. It's going to be on a background. Let me just refresh what you get with this. The card you're seeing right now is the card I'm going to be making and showing you this background, which is called a fossil technique. And I think I'm going to bring my card up just a little bit to where you can see it a little bit more. And in the areas like right in here, it looks like little bitty fossils that you would see on a rock. I'm getting my light in here doing this way, but I'm sorry. But I wanted you to see the little fossils and stuff like that you kind of see on if you were out on a hike looking at rocks and stuff. So it's a pretty cool technique, and you'll never get two of them to look the same. In fact, before we start, I'm going to show you a few cards that I have made. Hi Char, glad you're still awake. Char's my friend from Washington, so she's 3 hours behind us, so she got up to be here on my live video. Such a good friend. Okay, here's some of the other cards I made, so let me just show them to you. Here's one, totally different. You're going to see some white spots in there, a little bit of fossil techniques. Here's a green, and I'm actually going to put these two greens together because they were done back to back, and I'm going to show you what I mean about that. But they look totally different. So I'll show you what I mean about that. Here's one. I did not like the whole page of this one, so I took and just cut a piece and made a card out of cutting up pieces. And hi Lisa. And therefore you get a whole other technique look with that. So I think we're going to get started here in 1 second. Let me just show you. Later on today, I will be posting my PDF for my directions. And if you weren't here last week, let me just tell you, here's what you get in the PDF. you get a paper that's telling you the supplies for the technique, how I did the technique, supplies for the card that I'm showing you, directions for the card, and lastly it tells you to enjoy, because that's all this is all about, is doing our card making to enjoy, to pass on our kindness to one another, lift up spirits and stuff. So for your classes, to help you grow your business. But any way you do it, I just want you to enjoy it and not let it be frustrating to you. So with all that being said, I do have a little bit at the end of this that I'm going to be telling you at the end of my presentation. So try to stay with me through this whole thing, okay? Here we go. I'm going to move my card off to the side because I don't want it dirty. What you're going to start out with when you do this card, you're going to start out with a page protector. And these are old ones. I actually found a notebook that I made 17 years ago of techniques. And actually, I was with the Angel Company then, and we all made this book together. And it just was phenomenal. I found this book full of techniques. Well, they don't really pertain to what I'm doing today, so I'm kind of dumping them, which is sad to say. But I'm using getting all my page protectors from there, so I didn't have to go out and buy any, which was a good thing. But what you want to do with this page protector is you have your open end already. You want to cut the other two sides so that your page protector opens up. And we want that to open up, and it's all right to crease that back, and you'll see why in a minute. Kind of want it flat. This is where I'm going to get just a hair messy, girls, but we're going to use re-inkers. And today I chose Pear Pizzazz, Calypso Coral, and Flirty Flamingo. I don't think I ever make a card anymore without Flirty Flamingo. So, and I tried, as you see, I've done the greens, I've done the Highland Heather with the Blushing Bride and stuff, but I always come back to Flirty Flamingo. So what you're going to do, just make sure that these are shook up a little bit so that the color's not settled in the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo first, which you're not going to be able to tell the color different, but I'm just going to squirt it on my page. You don't squirt it all the way out to the edges, because if you do, you're going to have your colors running out. Then I'm going to squirt a little bit of, and I'm not going to put a lot of Calypso Coral. Now, if you notice, I'm going to take this other side of the paper and I'm going to squirt green. Not that I know where that's going to hit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my page protector. I know, what a mess. Look at this, girls. Looks like little amoebas. Any science nerds out here? And I'm just squishing my colors together. I don't want to muddy them up, but I do want to fill these holes. If I don't think I have enough color in here, I can always open up my page and add a little bit more, because I don't want a lot of white spots. Look at that. Look at all of my little so I want some color in here that's going, so I'm just going to add whatever color that I think I'm going to like with that. And I'm actually going to squirt a little bit of more green up here, because I want to get a good solid color on my technique. So there, this is looking good. A lot of these are going to be my little fossils like. I know it looks kind of ugly right now, doesn't it, girls? Woohoo! What you're going to want to have ready, though, when you do this is glossy cardstock. I don't cut any bigger than 5 1/4 by 4 because of having to get in this space. And you can trim them up later, but you're going to take 2 pieces of glossy cardstock. Put the matte sides together so you have glossy on both sides, because you're going to do 2 pieces at one time. I'm going to lay my paper in there and I'm going to close this up. Then I'm going to take a brayer and I'm just going to lightly try to get in there, and I don't care if all of my white spots aren't done, but I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to look at my other side, kind of get some of those air bubbles out of there. Like I said, I don't care if it's leaving some. Okay, here's the magic. You're going to take and you're going to lift that off. Look at the smears and all of that. It's just, here's where I get dirty. I'm going to lift these out. And if you can see, I'm going to lay that to the side. Now, you can take and wash out those page protectors if you want. I did do a couple of them where I just took, actually what I did is I took and put Simple Green on a paper towel and just wiped them clean and used them again. You can do that. If you don't like, say you see these little swirly lines in here and you don't like that as much, take a paper towel and just kind of blend all that in. Try not to take away your little amoebas, your little fossils. When it dries, you can, at this point, I always let mine air dry. If you wanted to hurry these up, you could take and dry them with your heat gun. Be careful that you don't burn your paper. It it's real easy to burn and to dry it. You can also take these over if you want to get them dry, a little drier. Just put it over. Brayer it on your paper. And look at the difference that just made. And I still see a lot of my little fossil looking techniques. You can also take it over, just rub your hand. You're not going to get this kind of technique. It will take a lot of excess ink off of there. And there's the difference, okay? This paper is instantly drying because you've used dye-based ink. I just put it on plain paper, so it dries pretty fast. If you can see how my edges are brown, that's all from the ink when I pulled that out. That's what I cut off. That's why I said if you cut it 5 1/4 by 4, you can cut it down to different sizes, or just barely cut it off and put a backing on it like I did my card. Let me bring my card back in just for a second. I'm not going to use these today because I'm going to let them air dry. So let's set these over there. Here is what I'm going to use today because I've already air dried it. And there again, let me hold it up. And you'll see all of these little crinkly lines that look like little fossil ideas over here in the green and stuff like that. There's a little bit of white that was left on my card, which I just think that gives it a cool technique. So I'm going to use this today to stamp one just because it's dry and it's easier. Now I know when we're on glossy paper, people say use StazOn. You don't have to. You can use your Memento ink. I am not a StazOn person. I think it's messy. I don't like the cleanup of them and stuff. So if I can't use my Memento, it's like a no-go for me. I'd really have to like something to do a StazOn thing. And that's my personal preference. It's nothing to you guys. A lot of people use them and stuff. So you want to use stamps that are kind of bold. Now, I chose the Positive Thoughts stamp set. I absolutely love this flower, and I love it because it's bold, and it also has just lines that you can see the color through. So, I chose it, and I did quite a few cards with it just because I love the look of this flower. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my card and just show you how easy. Now, I do want to remind you, you're on glossy cardstock. If you stamp heavy, which you want a good image, you do not want to let your stamp slide. You want to completely just put it down, put a firm hold on it, let it sit there a second, and come straight up. Therefore, you get these little lines, and I will show you. Here's an example. On the card I made you, I didn't get as much of that little line in there because I slid the stamp a little bit. So you want to try, I mean, look at the difference between this flower. I'm going to turn this light off. It's getting too much of a glare to me. It's driving me crazy. So, let's turn that off. Okay. So, anyway, this one does not show as much detail as this one because I slid it. So, that's what you want to try not to do. So, let me do the other two flowers on here rather quickly without sliding. I slid that one because I didn't hold my paper down, but it's all good in a day's work. So there is my flower. Next I'm going to do my saying, and then I'll put some butterflies on it. Now let me tell you, this is just a fast way to do cards. And this one you really don't want to slide. You know, blurry words, because then it looks like you're drunk reading it. Don't want to do that. Not good for stamping. Okay, then I'm going to stamp some butterflies. And that card is basically done. You do have to, you can take your heat gun again and dry your memento ink. Let me get that word out. Your memento ink, because all of it's not dry. It does have some dry spots, but there's a little bit that's wet. You can dry it. You can let it air dry. I'm going to set this over to air dry. And for the sake of a video, ta-da, I have one ready. So now I'm going to assemble my card. All of my card sizes, everything that I've cut, my mats and everything, is in the description on that PDF that I'm going to be putting on this group in the file section. And that's where all of my Technique Tuesdays files will go, because every week I will type up how you do this technique and how I made the card. My suggestion to you is, if you really like doing techniques and you want to keep them for reference, put them in a folder of some sort, and maybe even make a card and just stick in with it and put it in a page protector altogether, so you'll have a visual when you go back to read them. So sometimes I read my directions I've written down for something and I'm like, what in the heck is this? Because I just don't know, because I don't put my visuals with it. I am such a visual person that it's just what I need to do. Okay, I'm not worrying about these spots. They're dry. It's not going to hurt my card or anything. Because I'm using glossy cardstock, I like to use the Tombow glue. And I have a new one today, so I don't have to fight with it like I did with my other technique. Then I'm going to just mount this on the black, and with using the glue, I have time to kind of slide that around and get it where I want it. I'll let that sit there a second. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card. And if you watched my video last week, I use a Pampered Chef pot scraper thing for my card. I just like to handle it better in a bone folder, so that's just my personal preference also. I'm going to go ahead and glue my Calypso Coral onto my card. And that's only because I'm giving my black cardstock a few minutes to dry. And I think my comments went off. Susie says, could you use any ink, maybe early espresso? Susie, I didn't try it because those are not a, Memento is a hybrid ink and it works a little bit better. You could get the brown. I know we don't sell the brown Memento anymore, but you could probably use that and it would work really, really well. You could certainly try the other, and maybe it would work a little bit if you tried that, just because you could dry it with the heat gun and see if that works. You know, surely be something to try. I might even give that a try. Look, I have ink on my fingers. That's the worst thing about doing this. Okay, I'm going to turn over my piece that I have mounted on the black. I like to pop dot this piece, and I'm going to use our black pop dots that were in the Christmas catalog, and I think you might still be able to get these. I'm not real sure. Mary may be able to answer that on here. She's more savvy than I am on this stuff. But anyway, you do not have to use 4 million pop dots. You know, 6 of them on a card this size is usually good. I have people in my classes that are like pop dot crazy, and they'll use about 12 to 15 on this size card, and I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'm going to just take this, I'm going to pop dot it onto my front, being careful to try to get it centered the first time. There we go. So there's the front of my card. Now what I did on the inside of my card is I just stamped a little flower in there. So I'm going to do that just really quick here so I can have a finished card when we get done with this video. And there we just have something on the inside just to give it a little bit more. Now one thing I did do to the front is I took and put a few little jewels on there, but I didn't want to put the silver. I didn't want it real bright against that. So I took my Stampin' Blends black, the dark basic black marker, and I just colored me, whoops, yeah, we'll leave him there. I just colored me 3 jewels. So what's great about the Stampin' Blends and that is you can color your jewels and be able to use them. So I'm going to take my pick tool and I'm just going to add me 3 jewels just to give my card a little bit more pizzazz. So there's the technique. I really hope you guys like doing this. Let me tell you, I sat and I made all kinds of backgrounds when I was doing this. I just got, you know, some colors out, did it in some page protectors, and like I said, you can wash those out or just use new ones when you want to. Just doesn't matter. It's a neat technique, makes a lot of neat backgrounds for fast stamping, because once you get this background, you do not have to do a whole lot to this card. But that's basically it. I mean, you can't get any simpler for making a background.